And obviously, just underage sex or sex outside of your relationship, that probably would be harmful. So what happens? How can we have some strategies, to stop that harm or limit that harm? And this is where the Buddhist idea of mindfulness comes in, because with mindfulness, when you're aware of what's going on, you find you do have much more control in your life. And it's just like the carpenter learns more about their tools, so that when they're sawing, when they're planing, they're much more sensitive, so they don't make so many mistakes. And that sensitivity, to your inner world, to your mind, to your lust, to your anger, to your desires, to what you want, is an important part of Buddhist practice. So we don't just say, no, don't do it. We don't say that's bad or that's unskillful. One of the nicest things about Buddhist practice is we help you actually find out what you're doing, why you're doing, and how to lessen the problems. Which is why that when we have these trainings of the mind in meditation to increase your mindfulness awareness, you start to see your whole mental processes and what happens. Where does lust come from anyway? And what actually is happening there? One of the problems is that when a person does, you might be in a nice relationship, when you do see some other person, always be people who are attractive. Wow, she's nice, he's hot. Whatever it is, there will be an attraction. Of course, that's natural. You can't stop that. And just to think that I'm not going to look at another girl, now I'm married. Only you, dear. I'm not going to look at anyone else for the rest of my life. That's a lie, isn't it? You can't do that. Or I'm not going to like anyone else. Again, that's a lie, because you'll have lust for other men and other women once you get married, once you have that relationship. So, be realistic, and then say, what are we going to do about this? And obviously that mindfulness is very important, because the mindfulness sees that whether it's lust, or whether it's anger, or whether it's any other addiction, there is a whole train of mental activity, a process. And it's the mindfulness which can interrupt that process at any time and stop it before it gets too bad. What mindfulness does, it's like trying to stop a train. When a train has left the station, it's going 110 kilometers an hour down the track with so much weight behind it. If the train driver tries to stop and put on the brakes because there's an obstruction on the road or on the rails in front of it, sometimes it just can't do that. It's going too fast. The momentum is too strong. A train going that fast takes maybe half a kilometer to come to a halt, which is why that sometimes there's these terrible crashes when a car crosses the railway line. The driver sees it, but it's going too fast to stop. This is what happens when we try and catch our lust or whatever, our anger, when it's a bit too late. It's gone too fast, the momentum's too strong. We can't stop it straight away. And many of you know that, when you're in the power of lust, you can't stop just straight away. You can't just say, no, I'm going to stop now. It's like a train just trying to put on the brakes and stop immediately. It just cannot be done. Well, the best time to stop a train is just when it's first moving out of the station. It's only going at maybe 1 kilometer an hour. And then if you put on the brake, it's easy to stop it. So one of the great things about mindfulness is actually you can see the whole process happening. You can stop it earlier if you think it's going to be unskillful, it's not going to help you. So a man who's got a nice wife, instead of just allowing the whole process to get so inflamed that you're just under the power of lust and you can't stop it anymore, you try and stop it earlier. And that way if you see this really, really nice girl and she's really amazing, you see that whole process happen, stop it now before it gets too late. It's called just a simple restraint. To be able to stop that thing, obviously you have to want to stop it, and that's where the wisdom comes up. Just don't be stupid and think you're in control of these things. Once you get too far, you are out of control, which is why I've told many women who've had problems with their husbands that when a man gets lust, they literally are crazy. It's not a joke, but you are mad. One thing, you think you'll never get caught.